Hi, this is Mr. Payton. This will probably end up being my last video for 2023. It's been an interesting year. Um, I tried some different things as a professional. For the first time in my career, I am not a classroom teacher. Those of you who follow me and know I've always been a classroom teacher. I've either been middle school, primary, which means first, second, or third grade, or elementary school teacher. And so this year I'm an elective teacher, and I'm teaching a class that basically is a combination of financial literacy and like engineering or something like that. But that's not the most significant thing that's going on. It's the school itself. And I want to be careful about how I share this information, not because I'm afraid or anything. Anybody who knows me knows that's not it. But I want to be fair to the situation. So let me put it this way. The school I'm at right now is the most challenging school I've ever been at for a number of reasons, and that's what I'm going to dig into. But I want to tell you about a conversation I had with my middle school students. So I started off by asking them what are the most important things to them, and they said things that you think teenagers would say, shoes, money, family, God/religion, friends, things like that. But from there, I segued to what's important to me. And because I'm an educator, I think they believe that I'm like everybody else, which this is probably going to sound arrogant, but I'm not like everybody else. I don't teach for the reasons that I think a lot of people do. I literally think of teaching like being an EMT or being a fireman. I'm teaching to save lives, period. I'm not teaching because I like to schedule. I'm not teaching because I like getting all the breaks off. And I'm not teaching because it matches up with my child who happens to be in school right now because she's 8 years old. No, I am teaching because I believe that something I have to share, something about my story, my history, can possibly save someone's life, really. And I'm not being dramatic when I say that. I mean, it may keep someone from harming themselves. It may keep someone from making a decision to do drugs or sell drugs. It may keep them from joining the wrong group of people. I truly believe that. And again, that doesn't mean I'm better than other teachers, but I'm saying my mission is different. My mission is not to get all the kids to have straight A's. My mission is not for them to pass the state test. I could care less about any of that. All I care about is making a connection with a young person and hoping that somehow, some way, our interaction generates something more positive than what's going on in their life. So in this conversation, it was interesting because at some point in the conversation, our principal walks in and they all kind of froze. And I was like, don't freeze, like keep talking. And so some of the things we talked about, they were surprising because it was stuff that I just missed. And here's what I mean. When we really got down to it, the reason why the kids say they have a hard time at school or why they do what they do is because they simply don't trust us. And by us, I mean the adults at school. And they were specific. They said, look, if you do something bad at this school, all they're going to do is send you to the office and then send you back. Okay. If you tell a teacher something, they're going to tell it. I said, okay. I said, so trust for you is keeping secrets. They're like, no, but our point is that if we share something with you and we say not to share it, you shouldn't go blab it to everybody. And I said, well, you guys, that's a tricky one. Because as an educator, if there's something that's going on that is illegal or doesn't keep you safe, then we have to share it. And I understand why they wouldn't have understood that part of it. But it was fascinating because, here I am looking at all things going on. You guys, those of you who know me, I'm not a tough guy. Like I'm not an MMA guy. I'm not a big buff, muscular guy. I'm mentally tough is what I am. Like it takes a whole lot for you to change my mind. It takes a whole lot for me to lose concentration, focus, discipline. But I ain't no punk. You're not just going to run up on me and beat me up or whatever the case may be. But when we were talking, I told the kids, I said, do you realize this is the first school I've been at where a child has swung at me, tried to kick me, run up on me and challenge me physically. I said, I've never had these things happen before. I said, I've seen you guys challenge teachers physically. I said, I've never worked in an environment like that. And I need you guys to understand that it's not normal that you think you can do that. They said, well, yes, it is. Sure, it's everywhere. I said, no, it's not. You understand? I got 26 years in the game. I got 30 altogether if you count my time in juvie and working with kids at the parks and recreation. I've never seen kids think, not even actually do it, think that they should challenge adults physically. I said, that's a complete breakdown in the structure. So as we dug into it, they were like, well, what do you mean? Give me an example. And so I want to hit this part of the conversation in 3 ways. I want to talk about the structure of a school, because I am an educator for those of you who don't know. I want to talk about the team you work with, whether that's the other teachers, staff, support. And then finally, I want to talk about the thing that's probably the most important, at least it's most important to me, which is my relationship with my students, players, athletes, whatever. So when it comes to structure, what I said to them is I said, it's clear that there's not a structure in place in terms of if you have a complaint or you want to talk to someone, there's no structure. You guys just bypass your teachers and try to walk to the office. That's never going to work. You should let your parents know. Parents come and talk to the teachers or parents, whatever. That's not happening. You guys are doing stuff and your parents are coming after the fact. So there's not a clear structure in place. I don't believe that the kids know who all the authority figures are. And that may seem obvious. Well, all the teachers are the authority figures. Yes and no. And what I mean by authority figures is people who the children believe can get things done. That's a very big difference between the person who runs your classroom. There is always a couple of people on campus, whether it's can get you a piece of candy, get you something to eat, help you get some clothes, whatever. There are certain people you can go to. There's your old kindergarten teacher who is the most fun lady in the world. She always got Dr. Seuss stuff in her room. Or there's that middle school teacher that knows any and everything about science. You can go to him and ask him about whatever. So that's what I mean when I say authority figures and people who are in positions of leadership. You should know who to go to for certain things. And it's clear that they don't know who those people are. Even though we have people with the labels or hold those positions, they don't know who those people are. I also believe that in terms of teamwork, and again, I have to be very careful how I say this, but there's only one way to say this part. This is not a well-functioning institution. And the reason you know that is because there are people on campus who believe that because their area is working well, then there's no reason to be concerned with other areas. That is a losing mentality. Because anybody who plays sports or anybody who works in business knows you can't do that. You can't be the maintenance staff and say, well, it ain't got nothing to do with me, because your business will never do well. You can do that, but you won't do well doing it. Successful places, they all work together. That doesn't mean you have intimate knowledge about their area, but you understand that the areas are connected. On this campus, it is a regular thing to hear people say, well, yeah, our group is doing what they need to do. Or we took care of our stuff. There is no we on the large scale. And the kids can tell that. They know we don't work together. And so one of the things that's new for them is that I do go and talk to other people and find out from each other. Like, well, how do you know that? I said, because I went and talked to them. They said, well, why would you go talk to them? Because we work together and we're all trying to do the same thing, help kids. And you can see the looks on their faces when they hear that response from me. The final thing, and this was the most pressing thing in what I shared a little bit earlier, was the relationships. I'm trying to build relationships with students in a way I've never had to do before. By this time of the year, man, I probably know the parents' middle names by now because I've talked to them so much. But because I'm now a special area teacher or an elective teacher, I see kids once a week, most of them, some of them twice a week. So I've now built a rapport. I can honestly tell you it's the first time in my life I don't know all my students' names. Well, there's more than 500 of them, so I don't know all their names. But it's so weird to go into a classroom and not know everybody's names. A lot of it is just because, they don't come with name tags or they're all different ages. I service everybody from kindergarten through 8th grade. And that to me is frustrating. Now, people who have been special area teachers for a long time, they've got a system down. They know all the kids' names and, they know how to function in my position a lot better than I do. This is my first time doing it. It's not an excuse, it's just a fact. And so my relationships that I have built with these students are far behind where they've been in the past. And so I'm not beating myself up about it, but I am recognizing the fact that it's a far more difficult thing to do as an elective / special area teacher. But I think my takeaway overall is that I'm looking at this place and saying, man, you know, where do you start? Like, what do you try to address first? What improvements do you try to make to yourself to try to make the situation work better? And the kids gave me the answer without, and I'm looking everywhere and the answer was right in front of me. I've got to earn their trust some way, somehow. I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to do that. This is, for me, felt well into the year. If you're a middle schoolers, particularly the 8th graders, for them, the year's almost over because they're going to spend another maybe 9 weeks doing a little bit of learning, taking some assessments, and then after that is cruise control. They're going to be waiting to promote, looking at what high school they're going to next, all that kind of stuff. So for the 8th graders, it's almost done. For everybody else, there's still some time. But that's got to be my next challenge is how do I build trust with a group of kids who have never trusted anyone? Now, you might say, well, why is that such a challenge? Well, in one class, we counted 7 different languages, 4 different religions. Again, that may not be a big deal to you. The part that should be significant for you to hear, though, is of our 500 students, those students come from, in just our school, we service 15 group homes. So what that means is we have a significant group of kids who don't have a direct relationship with their parent or grandparent on a regular basis. So now you understand why trust is the greatest challenge on this campus. These are kids who have been taken away, thrown away, or flat out not permitted to be around their families anymore. And so when they show up to school, they don't have what most students would deem to be a healthy outlook towards adults or authority figures. Let me tell you something. When your family says, I'm good, I don't want to deal with you, how do you respond to that as a person? Most adults couldn't handle that. Forget about if you're 5, 8, or even worse, if you're just going into puberty and someone says, yeah, no, I'm good on you. Good luck with the state. And me, your teacher, and in this case, your special area teacher, elective teacher says, hey, trust me. They're going to be like, why? Everybody I've ever trusted has gotten rid of me. Everybody whoever I've trusted has quit on me. Everybody who I've ever trusted has taken advantage of me. And so now, armed with all of the information, I got to come up with a different strategy. Because what I've done in the past, under those circumstances, one classroom, 30 kids maybe, yeah, I can build a cohesive family unit in there that they know they can trust because they got me every day, majority of the day. But when you got me for 45 minutes, once a week, I got to build some kind of rapport with you. I got to get you to trust me somehow. Now, am I going to be successful, everybody? Nope. But I got to try. I got to figure something out. Because again, structure's not in place. The teamwork on our campus is not where it should be. So I'm going to take it upon myself. I got to figure that out. Listen, those of you who know me know this is not a new type of thing for me to do or the type of way to talk. But those of you who are new to listening to me, this is who I am. I've always been this person. I take it personally if a kid does not succeed under my watch. It just so happens that this year, all the kids are under my watch. And so I'm probably being a little harder on myself than I should be, but I signed up for it. I accepted the position, so I'm adjusting to those expectations. I want to take some time to say this too. Social media or YouTube, whatever you're watching this on, it's an interesting place. You want to be authentic and do the thing that you're doing, but you also have to be somewhat of a salesman because you want people to watch the views so you can have the capability of doing more. And like a lot of people, I struggle with that. I don't ever try to put out content that isn't me. But I do want to say to all those who are watching me, I appreciate it because for me, this journey started back in 2020 when one of my students told me to get on Instagram. And then, YouTube followed and then TikTok followed and all that kind of stuff. But I have one goal. I just want to educate young people. I want to support them, help them be the best versions of themselves. And so I hope somehow, some way, these videos are helping you all to do that. Again, my name is Sebastian Payton. I'm a teacher. I go by Mr. Payton, Mr. P. I'm out of Phoenix, Arizona. I hope you enjoy this. I hope this brought some value to you. And I hope you have a safe and enjoyable holiday season, however you celebrate, or if you don't celebrate at all. If you have some time off, I hope you have a chance to recharge and do what you need to do. But again, I appreciate you and hope everything is well. Thank you for watching.